Good morning, Rio Grande third graders. It's Miss Jaimeo, and let's take a look today at our Week 17 DMA Day 3. So let's look at our first problem. Our first problem is 28 divided by 4 is equal to 7. They're asking us to write a related multiplication sentence. When they say that, we know that multiplication and division are opposite of each other, because with division, you're taking the total, putting it into groups, and finding how many is in each group. Or I could think of it this way: I take my total, put it in groups of 4 to find out how many groups of 4 I end up with. So let's do that. Let's look at our division. So if I take 28 and I break it apart into groups of 4, I would probably see that there are going to be 7 groups of 4. Now let's double check. So if I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so there's another group of 4, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25, 26, 27, and 28. There's my 28 objects. I put them into groups of 4, and now I can see that once I've divided them equally, I will have 7 groups of 4. Now, again, we're using our understanding of, well, division. We took the total, put it into groups of 4, and we have 7 groups. Now we're relating it to multiplication. So if I have 7 groups of 4, if I were to count all of these back up, which I shouldn't need to because you just heard me count them all out, I would get all of them together as 28 total objects. Now remember, we can switch these factors around and write another multiplication sentence, and we could have 4 groups of 7. And 7 plus 7 is 14, and another 7 would be 21, and another 7 would be 28. So no matter how we switch our factors, it's still going to be a total of 28 objects once we put them all together. Now, another division fact, using what we know here, we could say, oh, I can take 28, put groups of 7 together, and I would have 4 groups of 7. So we've created a little fact family here, but our original problem asked us to write a related multiplication sentence. So our related multiplication sentences that we could write would be 7 times 4 equals 28, or 4 times 7 equals 28. Either of those will be related. Okay, now let's take a look at, we're going to skip our word problem for just a moment, and we're going to go to our rounding problem, or estimating. Estimate means to get about, not exactly, but about how much that's going to be. Estimate. So if you remember, we can use in your math notebook, we can use our understanding of looking at our multiples of 10. So I'm going to zoom out here. And they asked us to round to the closest 100. So if it's asking us to round 187 to the closest 100, we want to find what 2 hundreds that number is between. So if I look in my hundreds, I know or and see that 180 is right here. So 187 should be right between 180 and 190. But again, remember, we're not rounding to the closest 10, we're rounding to the closest 100. So we're either going to round it to 100 or we're going to round it to 200. So 187 would be right around here. We know that since it's past the 50, the 80 is past the 50, we are going to round it up to 200. So let's go ahead and write that down. We have 200. We're going to round 69 to the closest 100. So 69 is going to be right about here. We know it's 1 away from 70 actually. Again, we're going to round to the closest 100. So since it's past 50 in the tens place, we know we're going to round up to 100. So now I can go ahead and I can subtract my rounded amounts. And so when I subtract 200 minus 100, that is 100. So when I subtract 187 minus 69, it's almost going to be 100. It's going to be in the 100 range. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's take that 187 and let's just subtract 60 to start with. Let's subtract this 60. And if I subtract 60 from 80, that should leave me with 20 left. I don't have any hundreds to subtract, and I don't have any ones yet to subtract, so that's going to leave me with 127. Now I can subtract 9. So I'm going to take 127 and subtract 9. Now, what would happen if I subtracted 10? That means I'm over subtracting, and that would mean I would need to add 1 back in if I'm over subtracting. So if I subtract 9, I could actually subtract 7, which is here already. That would leave me 120. And then I could subtract 2 more from 120, and that would give me 118. Now, let's take a look at how to subtract it using our algorithm. So, I can't subtract 9 from 7, but I realized I do have 7 to subtract here, and then I subtract those 2 more, but I have to subtract them from here. So, this tells me I need to borrow a 10 and regroup that 10 as 17 here. Now I can go ahead and subtract because I have enough to subtract 9 from the 17. So if I subtract 9 plus, or what could we add to 9 to give us 17? Well, 9 plus 9 is 18. So it definitely can't be 9. But what could I add to 9 to give me 17? Well, that would be 1 less, which would be 8. And 9 and 8 is going to be 17. 7 minus 6 is going to leave me, or 70 minus 60 is going to leave me with a 10. And again, if I check, is 10 plus 60 70? Yes. And I don't have any hundreds to subtract here. So I go ahead and bring down my 100 since I don't have any hundreds to subtract. And again, you will notice that I can see that this 118 matches what I have here. I can always use addition to check my subtraction. So if I take these 69 and add 118, I should come up with 187. So 9 and 8 is 17. I carry the 10. 60 and one more 10 is 70, and one more 10 is 80. And the 100 that I added from here, when I subtracted, will give me 187. So I did my subtraction correctly by checking using addition. Now let's take a look at our second problem. And it says draw 10 circles and put them equally into 5 sets. A set is considered a group, into 5 groups. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my 5 groups. And it said to put the 10 circles into equally into 5 groups. So this tells me I'm using division because I'm taking my total circles and I'm dividing them up into 5 groups. And I want to know how many groups, how many is going to be in each group. How many objects or how many circles will be in each group or in each set here it says. So how many circles are in each group or each set? So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Those are my circles within my groups. Now, notice here, if I just knew my multiplication tables, I know I have 5 groups, but I don't know how many is in each group. I would be able to have 10 total circles. So if you notice, I have 2 circles in each group of my 5 groups, and that gives me my 10 circles. So 10 divided by 5 groups, I get 2 circles in each group. Now, my next problem is a 2-step problem. So I kind of want to model this for you so that you can see how we can visually put this into a picture for us to view. So we're going to use, Bonnie had 6 bags of 6 gel pens. And all of us like gel pens, right? We all like to get those cool colors. So if Bonnie has 6 bags of 6 gel pens, and we're assuming there's going to be 6 gel pens in each bag. She wanted to give the same number of gel pens to her 9 friends. So she's going to take those gel pens and do what with them? Right, she's going to divide them equally because it's telling us the same number. And that's also related to equally here. If we think about something being separated equally, we're saying the same number. So first thing we need to do is draw ourselves the first set of information of 6 bags of 6 gel pens in each bag. And we are wanting to find, this is our F in KFA, how many gel pens did each friend get? How many pens did each friend get? So I have 6 packages. I'm just visualizing what's going on in the problem. They told us there are 6 gel pens in each package. And I'm just going to be quick about this and not have to worry about drawing tally marks. I'm just going to put it in there, and now I'm going to add them up. How many gel pens do I have? So 6 and 6 is 12, and this 6 and 6 is 12, and this 6 and 6 is going to be 12. Now, I have 3 groups of 12 here. So 10 and 10 and 10 is 30, and 2 and 2 and 2 is 6. So together, I have 36 gel pens. Are we done? Let's look at our question. How many gel pens did each friend get? Did everybody get 36 gel pens? No. What we want to do is we want to take those gel pens and we want to divide them equally between her 9 friends. So now this is a 2-step problem. Now we need to do something with the gel pens. And this tells me I need to divide them equally between the friends. So I have my friends. I have the objects that I'm sharing, which are the gel pens. And I want to know how many pens each friend is going to get. Oh, pens for each friend. Pens for each friend. So, again, if I knew my multiplication facts, I could take my 9 friends, which are my groups, and put blank or give them blank pens, and that would give me my total of 36 pens, if I know my multiplication facts really well. If I don't, I could take my 36 pens and share them equally between the 9 friends. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So now I start giving my friends pens, and since this is an even number, I can go ahead and start off with 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and 18. So right now I'm at 18 pens that I've given to each friend. Let's try another 2. So 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, and finally 36. Once I've taken those 36 pens and given them equally to my 4 friends, I can see that I have given each friend 4 pens. So now we can take what we know and write a response. Each friend will get 4 pens because 6 pens in 6 packs will give me 36 pens. Next step, what do we have to do? We had to divide them. Then I share, and share equally, right? Means you're going to divide. I share them. Actually, I probably should say them. I share them equally between, which is what I did here, right? I shared them equally between 9 friends. So each friend gets 4 gel pens, which is what my question asked. How many gel pens did each friend get? So today we're going to be meeting. I'm going to have you give me a code word today. And the code word today that I'm going to ask you to type in the chat is the word gel. Gel. Gel is going to be the code word that you're going to type in the chat today for your DMA. So let's go ahead and put this away once we're finished up, and we'll come back to it at class time. Have a great day and see you soon.